What is up? Welcome back to another episode of Couch Talk. Today we are reviewing the new anime for this season, Black Clover,
Yes, and
episode 1,
another
pilot.
anime. Yeah, the opening episode. And this is not a reaction. I just want to get that out there again.
We're gonna do what we normally do. We're gonna break down the episode, like almost scene by scene almost, and then at the very end give our rank and scoring.
Yeah, basically. So, we appreciate you guys watching as always. So, if you enjoy like these videos we're doing, these reviews, just leave a like and subscribe, or
And be sure to comment, let
yeah,
us know what anime you would like to see us review, or, you know, give feedback to our discussion, like what you agree with, disagree with, anything like that.
yeah, exactly. All right, so I just want to preface this review with I have not seen or read Black Clover whatsoever. So this is full blind for me.
Yes, this is going to be different from our other ones because, well, we've only done two before this. We were both blind. We don't know anything about the manga or anything like that of My Hero, but this one I've read, and typically I don't watch what I read. So you might hear or feel a little biasness in my when I critique and stuff, but that's gonna be the one difference. So I have a different point of view than Logan does.
Yeah, so I'm fully blind. Justin knows to like not spoil anything.
Yes, and
But Justin's perspective is gonna kind of be, I'd say, like a comparison between the manga and the anime, while mine's just gonna be strictly anime.
yes, because typically I would never watch something that I read, but that's probably a different topic for another video at some point in the time. Why I refuse to do that.
Right.
But
So let's just
this just seems something unique we could do.
yeah.
So I guess we can get into this.
So let's jump on in. All right. So opening opening scene is two babies that are the main characters. So we have
Yes.
this that we have Atsa and Yuno. Yuno's the dark haired, Atsa's like the silver haired. And they grow up in like this village. But immediately what I saw, I guess we can talk about characters since the first episode to most shows isn't a ton of stuff. It's just lots of
Yeah,
characters.
developing the story and
Yeah.
what's going on.
So here we'll talk about the setting first.
Actually, I just want to point out real quick, the first episode, for those who have read, is actually shorter than the first chapter. So it ends three pages short of the first chapter.
Okay.
So people know perspective-wise.
So the setting is like kind of there isn't like tons of technology obviously,
Yes.
and like
Um,
it's like a magic based world. So
yes, everyone has magic. We'll eventually get into the fact that Asta has zero magic whatsoever.
right.
They also kind of skip like the very first page, and they don't really go into it too much about more of the background. Is humanity was almost actually completely wiped out by demons,
Okay.
but it was saved by the Sorcery Emperor.
They kind of
That's who
touched
the
on that
first
a
one.
bit.
I don't remember it being like
They mentioned
too
how
much.
I think they mentioned like there was like this great event because they showed that giant like
Yeah,
skull.
which represents the first Sorcery Emperor. I don't remember them saying demons or anything,
I don't
but
think they mentioned demons, but I think they might have briefly mentioned how something happened. I can't remember, but before we get too off topic or too like jumpy, it's in a world of so from my perspective, like everyone can use magic besides obviously the main character, but everyone else can use magic, and they kind of made it a big deal how magic is like
part of their everyday
part
lives.
of
You see
everyday
them
life.
farming with
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Like they really
Yeah.
established that. So
Basically,
that's
they can never have droughts because they can use water magic.
right. And
So
I'm
it
guessing
allows the
people
towns to
can
be
use all
prosperous.
different types of magic. Or is that like
They will explain how the magic
okay? Because I
works
wasn't
later
completely
on.
sure. Because like kind of looked like he used different magic,
Yeah, he
but
uses
then
air.
the
'Cause,
later guy kind of it made it seem like it was more. There's more specific to each person.
I know at a certain point they'll break it down. Like,
Okay, I assume they will, but right now I'm not too sure. That's all I'll say. But anyway, I guess we have the setting, so I guess we'll jump into the characters. So the first thing I immediately noticed about the characters is they did their damned hardest to differentiate between the two main characters. Like, they tried to make them as different as possible. So, like,
Yeah,
they wanted them to be like opposites, kind of. Or
yeah,
at least
like
just completely different. So you have Atsa, who's like the wild, outrageous, quirky one. They even took it as far as to their like appearance too, because like Yuno looks older and sounds older, and Atsa looks a lot younger and sounds younger, but they're the same age as far as we know, or at least close to it.
no, they are the same age.
Okay, that's what I was they're the same
15,
age.
I think. They're 15.
15, 16. I think they're 15.
They're 15 because
Yeah.
when you turn 15, you get your grimoire.
Yeah. So they immediately made these people like Yuno's the calm, cool, collected, all-star prodigy, basically, is what we see. And then Atsa's like the kind of idiot, tries his hardest, works hard, but like
Never gives up.
but is kind of like a step down from everyone. And that's kind of the only other characters they really introduced was their, I guess you could say, their father figure. I don't know if he's the priest-looking guy. He's the one that I'm guessing raised them, or at least took them in.
Yeah, and then
I don't even know if they said his name.
The sister is the other character that Asta wants to marry.
Yeah, the sister Lily, I think.
Yes, so
okay,
he
she wasn't.
really wants to marry her. It's like one of the main focuses, but this isn't really a spoiler. They're not really main characters. You don't really see them much after this.
That's what I got the feeling, because they didn't really. They kind of just used Sister Lily as like just to show more of a difference between the main characters.
Yes, so we won't really see them much.
That's really what I assumed, because I don't even think they said the old guy's name.
To be honest, I don't think they did.
I don't think they mentioned it.
Pretty sure they just called him the priest or old man priest or something.
Anyway, I guess those are the only characters we can. Well, there's a third character that comes in later, but that's definitely like, I think they intentionally tried to like separate those two characters as much as possible, which
it kind of, because like, as you'll see later, and they talk about being rivals, so it's actually perfect for them to be opposites.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, we later see that they're rivals. Like, we see that. Oh, another thing
have a
is
close bond, but it helps them like push each other to want to be better.
Right. This is what I was gonna say. Also, we established in the first episodes, we already established like a long-term goal for the main characters. So they both want to become what is known as the Wizard King. They made
it's kind of weird because like in the mangas it's Sorcery Emperor, and then if you look at like my anime list description, it's Emperor Magus. I don't know why they use Wizard King, because there is an actual king in the world.
Okay,
so which is kind of throws me off a little bit, why they would use Wizard King.
Okay.
In the
I'll just use Wizard King for now, since
so that's for the anime it will be saying Wizard King.
Yeah, so basically the top wizard, I'm guessing, like number one wizard. Also, there's like other roles like Wizard Knights, but the two rivals are dead set on being the Wizard King. Also, we had kind of some interest before we get to like the conflict or like the action part. We had like some interesting interaction, like as the main characters have in their childhood. So like they used to look a lot closer when they were younger. Like you could tell that they like were more interactive, and they kind of made a big deal about the whole fist bump thing, how he ignored it now, but they kept showing him that they do it when they were kids. And then they also mentioned how something happened, which I have no idea what that could be. They mentioned, like, I think
they showed
Lily,
a little bit in this episode, actually.
Yeah, they showed, like, well, they showed him being carried back.
And that's because the thing is, it's in the first chapter of the manga, and I'm pretty sure they show it somewhere in here. I'm trying to find it because it has to do with the necklace.
Yeah, I saw
wears.
something that. Well, I saw that they were fighting some older man who like
Yeah,
took
the
the
older man
pendant.
stole it from him, and Asta gets in there and he gets it back,
Okay.
basically from the older man, and that's what solidifies their bond.
Right. I'm assuming that has something of importance. I don't know what yet. I'm getting the vibe that they're maybe like brothers, and like their father was that. I don't know who. Like they keep showing him on top of like the demon head, whatever that guy's name. I don't think they said a name.
No, that's just the statue on top of the demon head is
Yeah.
the first Wizard King.
I'm guessing they have.
That's
My guess
really
would be
all it
they
is.
have some connection to him. I'm not exactly sure what, but like maybe their father or like
See, that's
some
the
relative.
thing. I don't know what the time frame is between the first Wizard King and where they are now.
Yeah, I don't either, to be
Um,
honest.
Even in the manga, I don't really know. I might have just missed that, but I don't think it was ever truly explained because I don't know what Wizard King they're on now. It's like
Right,
second or third or fifth or whatever.
right. So we kind of just get. Okay, I guess we can move on to the Grimoire ceremony. Basically, everyone gets one except Asta. Is it
Yes.
Asta or Asta?
I say Asta, but
think
that's
it's
because that's how I
Asta.
read it. So
I think they said Asta. Anyway, everyone gets one but Asta, and then obviously, I kind of saw this coming. Yuno gets like some special one, like the 4-leaf clover. I think it said.
yes, that's. I think they said it the same one that the Wizard King had. I believe
Yeah.
that's what they said right
Yeah.
after. So
And how it stands for faith, love,
faith, love, hope,
hope, and then the
and
fourth is
luck.
luck. Okay, so I kind of saw that Asta. When I was watching, I was like, okay, either Asta's gonna get like some shitty looking one, like some old crusty looking one, or none at all. And turns out he gets none at all. And I'm like, okay, well, at first I was like, where are we gonna go from here? There's no way they can have this character in a magic world just be pure like physical, because he'd get dumpstered. Like he'd get straight up beat by everyone. So then I guess we're kind of moving fast through this, but I mean,
it's just a build-up episode. That's
Yeah.
really what it is. There's not a whole lot to delve into.
exactly.
Um,
So we get to basically the conflict of the episode.
Yeah, so he gets his gets his grimoire, Asta doesn't. And then this is where it kind of deviates from the manga. This does not happen in the manga, but he gets when Yuno's just walking around, he gets attacked by these noble kids. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they're nobles. They don't
They
really
sounded kind of posh and
like nobles. And this world was very separated between nobles and peasants.
Yeah, I kind of. Oops. I
The
forgot.
alarm you got turned. So you'll see that more, and obviously it's easy to pick up here because they flat out say he's like. They say
Yeah.
it. And,
Well, they even call Yuno a peasant when he gets his grimoire,
Yeah.
and also they're like only royal bloods and highborn are like wizard knights.
yeah,
and they
so
were, like,
that is the
shocked.
majority of them. So they attack Yuno out of just pure jealousy.
Yeah, I think they were trying to establish like how strong Yuno is, because they made it very clear that like Asta and Yuno aren't even close to the same level, at least for the first 95% of the episode.
That is true. So he beats them, but they get kind of sideswiped by Revchi.
Yeah, Raichi or something.
Well, it's got a V in front of it. C.
Raichi or something. But he has like some chain magic. Like he said he was a former wizard knight, I think he said.
Yes.
And he
Yes.
like is focused on chain magic, which the chain animation was a bit weird. That's just a side note.
It seemed like CGI.
That's what I was gonna say. It
almost.
seemed kind of CGI'd, which kind of felt strange watching it. But I mean, it was.
I liked some of the animation from it, and then there was a couple parts. Where
Yeah,
it just
some looked
seemed-
cool.
Like one looked like a 3D kind of.
Yeah,
effect
that was
where it
kinda
popping out in front of him. And
yeah.
it was like, this is kind of weird.
It felt strange. But anyway, like, Raichi comes up and instantly, like, captures Yuno and the guys who bully him, but they're irrelevant right now. Takes the grimoire, basically saying, I'm going to sell this on the black market or whatever.
And this is where we pick up an important fact that nobody else can use someone else's grimoire.
Right, I did notice that. So no one, so you can't just, well, you can steal their grimoire, obviously, but
you just can't
use
their magic. So you have to be chosen, so nobody else can use his 4-leaf clover book and be super powerful.
Right. Which that's actually kind of unique. Like, you can't just, like, bully someone for their power and keep getting stronger. You have to, like, use what's given to you. So
yes.
Then we have Asta. I keep saying it different every time. Wants to save his friend / rival. I still think they're kind of friends. At least maybe Asta sees him more as a friend, like, or at least
that's
respects
one thing
him.
where they're kind of, I didn't like too much about it, is that they're making Yuno a little more cold than
Yuno
he
did
actually
come
is.
off very cold.
He's not quite supposed to be like that. I think they're just kind of, well, you start to see him, they turn it around a little bit here towards the end where he calls out that he's like, hey, Asta is my rival.
Exactly. So Asta gets his ass kicked.
He shows some respect, but they just made him seem a little more cold than what he should be.
Yeah. So Asta gets his ass kicked. And like you said, he kind of gets that, like, adrenaline rush or that kick in the butt when Yuno's like, he's my rival. Like,
yes.
And
this is where we also learn he has absolutely zero magic.
Right. Because the chain guy's like, you have literally no magic.
Which is almost unheard of. People will have a little bit of magic, that's heard of, but not having magic is almost unheard of, which is why the Revchi starts just going, like, hysterical.
Because even, like, the village they're from is kind of, like, peasant-like, and all of them had magic. So it's like, okay, if everyone here has magic, pretty much everyone's going to have magic. But the main character literally has 0. So you're like, well, what the hell's going to happen? He's just going to die or, like, just get, like, destroyed. So then, out of, like, nowhere, well, after Yuno tells him, like, hey, he basically is saying, like, we're equals, like, yes, I see eye to eye to you, like,
yes, no matter what anybody else says.
Exactly, like, he probably knows that he's, like, above him in skill wise, but he's like, I still, like, see you eye to eye because
like, I don't know if it showed him be hot in the manga in the first, like, few chapters when it shows him, you know, draining, doing those 1,000 push-ups or whatever.
Right.
Yuno's actually watching over him, because he realizes how hard he's working.
Yeah.
And that's why he can see that, hey, he actually probably has something.
Right. I think when he said that, it showed, like, a flashback to the pendant thing, to how he got it back. I think that's when that showed that flashback, I'm pretty sure. But basically, after that, this grimoire, basically, I keep saying basically, this grimoire, like, appears out of nowhere. It, like, forms in front of him. It didn't come from
near the tower almost. I'm not quite sure.
So did it come from the tower? To me, it looked like it just formed, like, in front of him.
It should, I'm pretty sure, come from the tower, because I don't know. That's why I'm trying to look at the background. I'm pretty sure they're still, like, somewhat
I know
near
they're kind of near the tower, but just the way it, like, presented, it was like, it just, like,
yeah, I just wanted
to
extra
him, like, by will. But it's like it looked, well, it has 5 clovers, which was the main difference. Like,
yes, and that 5th clover means demon.
Yeah.
Essentially, which they show this giant ass demon.
Yeah, it showed
him.
Like a shadow, like the shadow behind him, like in the background of him, like this demon thing. So, like, that just leaves me with, like, questions, like, does he have magic now? Like, does the demon use magic for him? Like, the demon resides in him? Or something like that? It's a good way to catch, like, an audience's attention for a first episode. the
Yeah,
way they ended it, because it's like, holy shit.
which is yeah. This is where it ends. Like 3, because it ends with him just getting his sword essentially.
Oh yeah,
like
I almost forgot. Like a sword comes out.
a giant
A
black sword.
giant,
comes
not
out.
not just some, like some giant ass cloud strife looking sword comes out and like is huge. It's like bigger than he is.
And that's like, actually, it's like 7 chapters short, or pages short. The first chapter. So we don't get to see the conclusion of what happens here in this episode,
Right.
but it builds up for the next episode of what's he gonna do with this sword.
Right. But that I did like that ending. Like it was very
And this is where I'm gonna point out there was no opening OST
right. I saw that.
and no ending OST.
I think-
well, there was an ending soundtrack. It played the credits, but there was no
I think
video.
most episode 1s of animes don't usually have an opening, just so they can give all of it, all the episode. Or at least if they do, they have it not at the beginning, like kind of.
Yeah, and this is where it kind of gets interesting because the end, they could have had an ending one,
Yeah.
but it was just credits. And then it went into a preview, which is kind of weird to see, like, standard credits roll through.
Right. So I'm gonna make a prediction.
Mhm.
Since you can't really make predictions.
I can't make
Well, you
predictions.
can,
My
and you're
predictions will
cheating.
be spoilers.
So I'm guessing this demon thing kind of like, well, it came out of his grimoire. So I don't maybe. Well, now I don't. I was gonna say the demon kind of resides in him, but it came out of his grimoire, so I actually have no idea for a prediction. So I take it back. I'm guessing he's gonna use like demonic power instead of magic. It's gonna be. I feel like since he's gonna kind of be like outcast because he's different. Because like
I see where you're on, yeah.
I feel like because like first of all, these 4-leaf Clover books, everyone was shocked and surprised by 1. Now we have 5. I can only imagine what people are going to say when they discovered the No Magic Kid has a 5-leaf grimoire and a demon that comes out. I don't know. I actually have no idea what's going to happen, but that was a pretty straightforward episode. It was a standard introduction episode.
Nothing like too standing out to me, at least.
Right, it was like, here's the setting, here's the characters,
Here's what you need to know.
here's
So,
the main
I think that
focus.
really breaks it down. You just think we're ready to do the
Yeah,
ratings?
sure, you can go first.
No, you're going first.
Okay,
dude.
I'll
You
go
got-
first.
You got the floor. This is you're blind. Went into this.
It kind of started out pretty slow paced, but that's understandable because it was establishing a lot of stuff. I'd say like a 7.5 to 7.75. Like it wasn't. I give ranges. I'll say 7.5. I'll stick with my gut. It was pretty decent. It didn't explain everything, but that's not necessarily bad because it kind of leaves you with questions like, well, what is this? What's that giant ass skeleton thing? Like, what's the story behind the dude? What's the story behind our characters who are basically orphans and we don't know anything about their families? But the ending was pretty hype. I'll be real. When that sword came out, I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be like some crazy stuff coming up. But yeah, I'll give it a 7.5.
All right.
I'm pretty generous. I'll be honest. I give things benefit of the doubts at first. But go ahead.
All right. So for me, because I know everything where I'm coming from, it does what it needs to do. So I'm giving it a 7. It doesn't really do anything spectacular, I guess, but I
Yeah.
feel like if it would have went the length of the full first chapter, because I feel like the first chapter has like a perfect ending for an opener,
I feel even.
and because like even still like you can assume kind of like what happens in a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I
But-
feel
and
even.
that's where it doesn't even explain his magic at all.
Right.
In the first chapter, which would have still left it very open. It actually probably would have left with more questions, actually. So I feel like they would have went that full length instead of and gave us at least an ending OST, or maybe a little more, or just use that extra time of those credits to actually finish the conclusion.
Yeah, I feel if they ended that fight between him and the chain guy, that would have been a bit. It would have bumped it up a bit more.
Yeah. So, but it does exactly what it needs to do.
I didn't hear too much.
It gives you enough attention drawing.
Yeah.
But it's not like a spectacular like opening that truly grasps you.
Right. I didn't hear too much of the music of the OST. Like, there was a couple songs, like there was a few songs, or I think 2 songs that stood out. I don't know. I'm big on anime when it comes to music. Like, anyway, that's our ratings. That's episode 1 of Black Clover.
Yes, that is it. And so 7.5 and a 7. Let us know what you guys thought. If you agree with our ratings, if you think it's higher or lower, maybe. Or if there was any points we missed that you want to touch up on and said,
Yeah.
hey, this is why this scene's actually more important than that scene you talked about.
Right. But
anything.
please keep it spoiler free if you've read the manga.
Yes, please keep it spoiler free. We probably should have said that in our
And
my hero ones.
Yeah. Sorry.
But so yeah, be sure to comment, subscribe and like if you enjoyed it, especially if you're this far in, as we always say.
This far in, you might as well join us. You know.
Join us on our couch and talk freely with us. we have a Discord down below that you in the description that you can join, have discussions with us there, or anybody else that's interested in having discussions. We have a gaming channel, which will be
also in the
on
description.
The actual end card, and the
end card
in the description.
Apparently.
Yeah, I added them to the end card. So.
Anyway, that was enjoyable. I'm looking forward to more. I'm looking forward to more story. So. We'll see.
That does it for the first episode of Black Clover, and then we got one more coming this Saturday.
Yes.
For I don't remember what the show title is.
Inuyashiki.
Inuyashiki.
I think it's.
Join us Saturday for that, and I think that does it for this episode.
Yep. See you guys next time.